Taking a live look at our nation's capital, where the to-do list for Congress is growing. The long-awaited $95 billion aid bill for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan appears to be headed for a House vote this weekend. And joining us now is Congressman Adam Smith, representing the 9th District, the ranking member of the House Armed Service Committee. Congressman, good morning to you.
Well, good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Well, you bet. Thanks for joining us. This bill has been in limbo for months. Republicans pushing back against it, some threatening to oust Speaker Mike Johnson over it. So what is in these series of bills, and why has it taken so long to get this bill up for a vote?
Well, it's taken so long because the Republicans were unwilling to stand up to a small number in their group, the MAGA Republicans who oppose supporting Ukraine. And that delay has been very costly. The battlefield is getting very problematic for Ukraine. It's good that we're finally moving forward and doing it, but it should have been done months ago. The Senate passed their bill over 2 months ago at this point. But what's in it now is 4 bills. And the first 3 are basically the Senate bill split into 3. Ukraine, Israel, Taiwan. And then the 4th bill is sort of a grab bag of Republican priorities, mostly increases in sanctions on Iran, also has, for some reason, the TikTok divestiture bill, and a couple other things. And then when we pass those 4 bills, tomorrow is the plan, they will merge together and go to the Senate as one bill. And then the Senate's plan is to take that up early next week as one bill and send it to the president. And it desperately needs to be done. It has taken too long, as I said.
Yeah, absolutely. And the war in the Middle East is growing more intense. Just hours ago, Israel launched an airstrike on Iran in response to Iran's attack on Israel last Sunday. Now, the U.S. doesn't want a war with Iran. Israel doesn't want a war with Iran. What about Iran? Is there an upside for them in escalating the situation in the Middle East?
No, there's not. Because, look, what Iran has been doing is they've been using proxies. They support Hamas, they support Hezbollah, they support the Houthis, they support a variety of different Shia militias throughout Syria and Iraq, and they all do it from a comfortable sort of hands-off distance. If they get into the war, they're in trouble. They don't want a war. I'm cautiously optimistic that Iran will ignore this latest attack. They're not talking about it. Israel's not talking about it, and we'll get to at least a slight calm, but it is a very dangerous situation.
Now, we've seen pro-Palestine protests all over the country, even shutting down SeaTac Airport for hours this week. Your town hall event was disrupted by protesters last month, and they're calling for a ceasefire and an end to the violence in Gaza. Do you see where they're coming from?
Up to a point, and I'm in favor of a ceasefire. I think we need to get more humanitarian assistance into Gaza. Right now, Hamas is opposing a ceasefire. So I think part of the problem with the protesters is they're giving Hamas a complete pass for their role in this. And I think that's a problem. And the second problem is they are protesting in a way, certainly at my town hall, they shut down the entire town hall. It's not about them being heard. They want to make sure that nobody else is heard. That's bad for democracy when you're trying to silence and intimidate people instead of simply making your point. We all want peace, but you cannot give Hamas a pass on what's going on and get to peace. That's not going to work.
We have about a minute left, Congressman, but I did want to hit you up on the situation at the southern border. House Republicans voting to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, which goes nowhere in the Senate. The charge is basically failing to uphold immigration law at the southern border. Now, Mayorkas himself admits the border's broken. It's up to Congress to fix it. So if the House can get the votes to impeach Mayorkas, why can't it get the votes for a standalone border security bill?
Well, there's 2 reasons for that. One is because too many Republicans are more interested in politics than they are in solutions. You saw that. We reached a bipartisan agreement to pass a law that would help us on the border, would toughen up the border security. The Republicans at the last minute pulled their support for it, and Donald Trump, God bless him, he just says what he thinks, said, look, I'd rather have this as a political issue than pass something. And the Republicans went along with it, okay? So we had that opportunity, and they chose politics. Now, the second reason, to be fair, the Republicans disagree. They basically want to shut the whole thing down. We Democrats want border security, yes. We are in favor of changing the asylum laws to some degree, but we also want an increase in legal immigration. That's part of the problem as well. There are too few pathways for work visas. So people have no choice if they want to get in. Well, they have a choice. They could not come in, but they go the illegal route. We want a comprehensive immigration reform bill. So there is differences in policy, but the thing that blocked the ability to really help in the short term was pure Donald Trump politics. We had an agreement. We'd still be willing to take up that agreement. And again, it was bipartisan.
Representative Adam Smith, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for giving me the chance.